Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Sir Jude, and today, in the second suspended class this week, I invite you to watch the advanced video lecture on convection currents. We will discuss this one tomorrow, but if you want to be prepared for the recitation and discussion tomorrow, then you might you may have the initiative to watch it na today. All right. So before we start, I want you to watch a video first. All right. So in the video, you have two setups wherein both use dyed waters, no? So meron tayong cold water which was dyed blue and merong hot water which was dyed red. And then regardless whether nakalagay sa taas yung cold water or ilagay sa taas yung hot water, you notice that the hot water, the one with red dye, always goes up, and the one with the cold water with the blue dye always goes down. So here are some of the guide questions. Number one, which dye went up and down? So obviously the red dye went up and the blue dye went down. Number two, which dye moved faster and slower? So the red dye moved faster and the blue dye moved slower. And number three, what made the red dye go up faster and the blue dye go down slower? So the red dye went up faster because it is less dense or lighter, while the blue dye went down slower because it is heavier or denser. Now, so before I reveal the title of our current lesson, let's review first the methods of heat transfer, which I believe was discussed to you when you were in elementary. So you see here someone boiling water above a fire, no? So there are three arrows there, and let's see how heat is transferred. I'd like to start with the one holding the pan, the handle of the pan rather. So since nakahawak siya dun sa handle, then therefore, the heat of transfer in that area is direct contact or at least one solid. Well, both are solids here because hand is obviously a solid and the handle of the pan is also solid. On the second arrow, I want you to focus on the liquid contents of the pan. Kasi nagpapakulungan ng tubig, di ba? And because liquid is involved, so the heat transfer inside the pans between fluids. And for the last one, no, dun sa fire, even if hindi mo hawakan yung fire directly, you know that the fire emits heat. So the last one involves heat transfer, specifically indirect contact or via electromagnetic waves. Ngayon, so let's identify the methods of heat transfer in each scenario. For direct contact or at least one solid involved, we call that conduction. Okay, because the heat traveled from the handle of the pan towards the hand. Yeah, that's conduction. There's direct contact or at least one solid involved. Now, for between fluids, we call that convection. And lastly, for indirect contact or electromagnetic waves, kahit hindi mo hawakan yung source ng heat, which is in this case the fire, we call that radiation. And for today, we're going to focus solely or exclusively on convection. So sir, you might be wondering, bakit bigla tayong may method of heat transfer right now when our previous lesson was about tectonic plates, seismic waves, epicenter triangulation, and lastly, we have plate boundaries. Ano kinalaman ng methods of heat transfer, specifically convection, with our past lessons? So these four lessons, from tectonic waves down to plate boundaries, no? All of them involve crust. All of them involve movement in the crust, rather. So finally, in this lesson, we will now discover bakit nga ba nagalaw yung crust? Bakit nga ba may earthquake? Okay, bakit nga ba nagalaw ang tectonic plates? And that's due to convection currents. Okay. So because for the past 5 weeks, nakafocus tayo sa crust, then ibang layer naman ng Earth's lithosphere ang focus natin in this lesson. Kaya, by analyzing the picture you see on the right, no, in which layer of the Earth's lithosphere do convection currents happen? No? So even if we're not yet discussing from the picture, you can see na ang involved this time is the mantle. That is where convection currents happen. Ngayon, so sa methods of heat transfer kanina, importante na may heat source. Saan nga ba nagagaling yung init na nagda-drive sa convection current? So which layer of the Earth's lithosphere is the heat source of convection currents? And in this case, it's the core. So this lesson might be very quick compared to our lessons in the previous 5 weeks, no? But this is where everything began. This is where everything started. Kung bakit nga ba gumagalaw ang tectonic plates, bakit meron tayong natural disasters. This is the reason why convection currents. Now, we will be, throughout our discussion, may mga babanggitin akong terminologies na paulit-ulit when we compare certain regions of convection currents. So the first one is temperature. When we say temperature, it measures the average kinetic energy of the molecules. Gaano ba sila kabilis or kabagal gumalaw when there's heat involved. So as we know, if the temperature is low, we designate or we diagnose that certain region as cold or malamig. Kaya in this thermometer, usually, di ba kapag malamig, nasa mababang region ng thermometer ang liquid o mercury na nasa thermometer. When the temperature increases, we diagnose that certain system or matter as hot. And in connection to average kinetic energy, kapag nainitan ng isang bagay, mas mabilis siyang kumilos. Okay. The second property that we're going to mention multiple times later is density. So density, when when the density is low, it means it's less dense, considered lighter, mas magaan in Tagalog. On the other hand, a higher density means it is denser, something that is heavier, mabigat. And the third and final property that we're going to revisit is speed. So you have a speedometer here, and we know na if the speedometer is on the first half, no, the reading is on the first half, no, we designate it as slow, or in Tagalog, mabagal. Kasi mababa yung speed. On the other hand, kapag mataas ang speed, we designate it as fast. Alright, so focus na tayo sa convection currents. Okay? So imagine this setup as the mantle and the core. So ang heat source natin ay si core, and ang laman ng mantle natin ay si magma. So ano bang nangyayari? So pag nainitan si mantle, yung magma na nasa ilalim aakyat kasi nainitan. So warm magma rises. Ngayon, pag madami ng warm magma na nasa taas, no, mag-accumulate sila, and pag na-accumulate, mabibigatan. Once mabigatan, lalamig, babagal yung movement nila sa isa't isa. And kung walang volcanoes, matatrap lang naman yung magma sa loob ng mantle. Kaya, at some point sa taas, pag na-accumulate na sila with the influence of gravity, cold magma sinks. Ngayon, kung mapapansin nyo, no, we have two movements in the convection currents. One that is moving in a counterclockwise position, and the other one that is moving in a clockwise position. That's how convection currents happen. Because at the center, no, at the center of the convection currents, we see that warm magma is rising up, and at the side parts, in the left and right, we see that the cold magma sinks. So let's compare the three properties of warm magma and cold magma in terms of temperature, density, at saka speed. Let's start with warm magma first. In warm magma, no, since nainitan sa ilalim, no, that its temperature will increase. It will become hotter. Now, its density naman will decrease. It will become less dense, gagaan. Because kapag nainitan ng isang substance, no, yung molecules niya, it will start to move uh, faster and separate from each other. Kaya gagaan. Magiging less compact yung kanyang molecules. And obviously, dahil nagsiseparate far apart ang mga molecules, its speed will also increase, therefore it moves faster. O ngayon, nasa taas na tayo ng mantle, nag-accumulate lahat ng warm magma, no? And pag nag-accumulate, it will start to turn into cold magma. Okay. So, pag cold magma, obviously the temperature will decrease because it's now colder. And because unti-unti siyang lumalamig, no, yung mga molecules niya na dating far apart, spread apart, it will now move closer to each other. More compact. Kaya yung density niya, it will increase, it will become denser. So, bibigat. And once na mabigat na or ang magma natin dahil closer na ang molecule sa isa't isa, therefore limited na yung space nila sa isa't isa, then its speed will decrease. Its movement will become slower. And basically, this is it. This is convection currents, no? The cycle repeats again and again. Warm magma rises, cold magma sinks. Okay, so let's analyze this convection cell that you see on the screen right now. Okay, focus kayo dun sa four letters A, B, C, and D. So, is the temperature of magma hotter or colder from C to D? So, mapapansin nyo, yung movement na arrows from C to D, they're moving downward. So, if it is downward, then we expect that cold magma sinks. Kaya the answer to number one is colder. Number two, is magma less dense or denser from C to D? When it sinks, it's because more compact yung molecules, more compact kasi nag-start na silang mag-dikit-dikit to start to become closer to each other. Kaya magma from C to D is denser. Number three, does magma move faster or slower from C to D? Since denser na si magma from C to D, then we expect na compact ang molecules, then therefore it will lead to slower movement. Alright, so tapos na tayo from C to D. Let's focus on A to B naman. So, kung mapapansin nyo from A to B, no, yung direction na arrows natin ay upward or pataas. So, number 4, is the temperature of magma hotter or colder from A to B? Si A, mas malapit siya sa core kaysa kay letter B. So, dahil mas malapit si A sa core, pag nainitan siya, then therefore, it will rise to B. Kaya the temperature will become hotter. Or as we call it, warm magma rises. Number 5, is magma less dense or denser from A to B? When magma gains heat, no, as a liquid, no, pag nainitan, then therefore its molecules will spread apart, move far away from each other as possible. Not necessarily will turn into gas yung content niya, no? Limited lang ang ma-turn into gas. But as the situation calls, magma will become less dense. And number 6, does magma move faster or slower from A to B? So remember, nag-gain ng energy from A to B from the heat na nasa core. No? So therefore, magma will move faster. So therefore, C to D is a manifestation of cold magma sinking, while A to B is a manifestation of magma rising. Okay? So, although ang convection currents natin ay nakafocus lang sa magma, meron tayong mga practical applications na nag-involve din naman ng convection currents at sa bahay natin. And this is it. Explain why air conditioners are always placed at the ceiling while fireplaces are always placed near the floor. So, in Tagalog, bakit nga ba yung mga aircon palaging nakalagay sa taas, malapit sa ceiling, while fireplaces, most of the time ay nakalagay malapit sa sahig? So, let's start with the aircon first. Kaya nakalagay yung aircon sa ibabaw, it's because ang purpose kung ba tayo nagpapa-install ng aircon ay lumamig ang room kung nasaan tayo, diba? And cold air ang ilalabas niyan. So, papalamigin niya yung mga hot air na nasa taas hanggang eventually mag-spread out yung cold air pababa. So, yun yung dahilan kung bakit yung mga aircon kailangan nakalagay sa taas. Doon naman tayo sa fireplaces. So, hindi lahat ng bahay may fireplaces. Most of the time, yung mga bahay na fireplaces ay ibig sabihin yung lugar nila or residence nila sa winter or cold areas. Bibihira lang ang mga nagpa-fireplace dito sa Pilipinas kasi tropical country tayo. But anyway, bakit nga ba kailangan yung fireplace nakalagay sa baba, malapit sa floor? So, una sa lahat, ba nag-i-install ng fireplace, ang purpose ay mainitan, 'di ba? So kung cold ang isang room, para mapainitan mo yung cold area na nasa baba, kailangan maglalagay ka ng fireplace na nasa baba rin para pag nainitan yung cold air sa baba, remember, aangat na sila. So, mababawasan yung lamig and then mag-spread out yung init. And through the principles of convection currents, these are the reasons why we situate aircons near the ceiling and fireplaces near the floor. Okay. So, what will happen if yung aircon, lalagay natin malapit sa sahig, while yung fireplace, lalagay naman natin sa ceiling. Okay, so start tayo sa aircon. Pag naglagay tayo ng aircon sa sahig, malapit sa sahig rather, remember, ang lalabas ng air ay malamig or cold. And remember, cold air sinks. So, tatambay lang yung lamig sa baba. Hindi yan mag-spread out sa taas. So it will be impractical. And the same would also be true in if you put if you install fireplaces sa ceiling. Ang maiinitan lang ay nasa taas, hindi yan diretso sa baba. So malalamigan ka pa rin, in short. Okay? So to summarize everything that we learned in this lesson, so choose the words that will make the sentence correct. Start with this first sentence. The warmer a magma is, the blank it becomes, and the blank it moves, causing it to blank. So the warmer a magma is, the less dense it becomes, and the faster it moves, causing it to rise. Okay? Doon naman tayo sa next sentence. The colder a magma is, the blank it becomes, and the blank it moves, causing it to blank. So the colder a magma is, the denser it becomes, and the slower it moves, causing it to sink. And that's all for today. Yun po ang convection currents. So if you watch this video today, or at least skim some portions of it, then therefore you have a great advantage in our lesson 4 once you finally tackle it in face-to-face tomorrow kung walang suspension of classes. Now, so para may idea kayo sa mangyayari on Wednesday kung sakaling mag-resume na ang classes bukas, then as a group, you must bring the following. So first, one shoebox with wide sides. Pakita ko na lang sa GC yung eksaktong hinahanap ko na shoebox. Then second, 2 copies of the seafloor printout to be uploaded in our Facebook group. I will show to you how the seafloor printout looks later. A pair of scissors. And scotch or double-sided tape. Okay? So, ito yung seafloor printout na ipe-print ninyo. So, 2 copies ng ganyan per group. Alright? So, you reserve some of your questions tomorrow once we finally see each other face to face. In the meantime, goodbye. And enjoy your special day today.